everyone. This is Patrice with the Positivity Corner, and I'm back with a new video series. We've got a new artist and new songs for you. You may not recognize these two gentlemen right here, but boy, let me tell you, if you know your 1960s music, you know these gentlemen. They are two of the greatest R&B soul singers who ever lived, and they're a duo. Their names, of course, are Sam Moore and Dave Prater, otherwise known as the iconic R&B duo Sam and Dave. Sam is still with us. He is 85 years old, folks. Kudos to you, Sam. Unfortunately, Dave died in the late 80s. He's been gone for over 30 years now. May he rest in peace. Let me tell you, these two dudes right here, they can sing. Oh my goodness. Ooh, they could sing. They could sing. And we, as the listener, benefited from those iconic recordings out of Stax Records. That's right, folks. I'm going to talk a little bit about how that process came about. Sam and Dave, of course, their early musical backgrounds were straight up gospel singing. Both of them sang in gospel groups. Dave actually sang in his church choir as a young man. And that is how they actually met. They were both singing on the gospel music circuit. And later, they met up in small clubs in the Miami, Florida area during amateur nights. We're talking early 60s. They met up, sang together, and started working together. And they started to develop their live act, which was primarily based on gospel. It kind of features that kind of call and response that I have mentioned in other videos on this channel. They had it down pat, y'all. Woo! I'm telling you. They ended up getting signed to a record deal in the early 60s. They released a couple of tunes, but they didn't get the national success. They got the regional, they got a couple of regional bites, but they didn't get the national success. Now we're up to 1964. In 1964, Sam and Dave were introduced to the iconic record producer of Atlantic Records, Jerry Wexler. Now, from what I read, Atlantic Records distributed Stax Records, right? They were the distributor. Jerry Wexler wanted more of that kind of southern kind of root sound, which he heard when he heard Sam and Dave sing. He liked the gospel style, that kind of call and response, and he also liked their live performances. They were one of the greatest live acts of the 1960s. It is documented. Them, Jackie Wilson, a couple of others Fantastic live performers. He wanted them on Stax to work with that group as opposed to Atlantic Records. And I think that was crucial to their success because when they got to Stax, Sam and Dave, they worked with the musicians and the engineers at Stax directly, right? Now, the house band for Stax was the iconic Booker T and the MGs, right? You can't lose with them, right? And also the horn section, the Marquis. These are the same people, these musicians who worked with Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett and Carla Thomas. You know, they had the goods, right? These musicians had the goods and they recognized talent. Now, we're talking, mid 60s. The first two Stax singles that Sam and Dave recorded, they didn't chart. But the third one was the charm, right? It was something called You Don't Know Like I Know. I'm not going to play it, but it managed to crack the top 10 of the R&B chart. They went on to have 10 consecutive top 20 R&B hits in 3 years. Phenomenal success. Phenomenal. So now we're up to 1966. Honey. This record that I'm about to play. This was their first single to break into the top 40 of the pop chart. It was the number one R&B song on the Billboard R&B chart for 1966. It was number one. It spent 20 weeks on the R&B chart, and it went to number 21 on the pop chart. It has been named one of the best songs of the past few decades by Rolling Stone. You know, I love my Rolling Stone polls. Many people have covered this song, but I'm going for the win. The original by Sam and Dave. This song is dope. I love the music. I love the way they sing it. And it was written by another legend. Co-written, rather, I should say. David Porter and Isaac Hayes wrote it. What? I love it. I love it. It's an absolute classic. This is 1966, folks. Sam and Dave doing their thing. And this one is called Hold On, I'm Coming.
Don't you ever be sad. Lean on me in times of bad. When the day comes and you're down and I'm in trouble and I'm about to drown, just hold on, I'm coming.
Wow, wow, wow. I wish I had been a fly in that recording studio because I'm telling you, when they were finished recording that, they must have said that was a hit. Oh my goodness, that is an absolute R&B soul classic of the highest order, folks. 1966, the legendary Sam and Dave with their first big hit. Hold on, I'm coming. Girl, it don't get no better than that, does it? Oh my goodness, I love that one. That's another one that never gets old. And just a fact about this record, it was so popular at the time that it kind of pushed. It was really instrumental in pushing soul music like to the front, right? Because it was not that it was in the back per se, but it was, it just kind of pushed it into the public consciousness as a whole, which was a great thing, wasn't it? Good stuff right there. As always, this is Patrice with the Positivity Corner. Please like, click, share, subscribe, join the party. Push the button for more content. And I will be back with a few more tunes from the legendary, iconic duo, Sam and Dave.